Well, tie game at halftime there. What about their defense gave you trouble there in the second half?
Tell you the truth, first of all, I thought that they're a good team. I really like the way they play. It sounds strange, maybe, but they spread the floor well. They take the threes. They pass well, and they're aggressive and tough. And we knew that we were going to have a problem. So I like the way Coach Brooks has really prepared them. They should do some serious damage, the rest of the games. To tell you the truth, it's not an excuse, but the fact of the matter is that we just came from Vancouver, so we got a chance to get back 2 nights ago. Did a walkthrough at 10:30 at night, and I think that we were tired. I thought that we played at the level we have to get in a lot better shape. But more important, I think, is that we just got to do a better job of scheduling and giving ourselves a chance to rest. That was one thing. And aside from the fact that we are not in the tradition of the Scarlet Knights that normally are very quick. So if you notice, we didn't even try to press until the last 2 minutes. But the 55 has been our calling card, and it's been really key for us over the years. But we're too slow. We're bigger, good. We shoot the three, good. So what? Now, do we get the ball and get the layups? Get those things. So we're missing a couple of people that I think that can help us in probably in another week, that will be able to help us. And we'll add, you won't see it as bad as it is right now. But I should say that a lot of this was exposed because of the outstanding offense that the coach is running. When you have people that can shoot the ball as well as they could, and it was forcing us to come out beyond the 3-point range, beyond the 4-point range, and then if we're not guarding the ball, which we didn't do anywhere near as well as we need to, then they were getting opportunities to get to the hole. So I credit the offense for them. I credit that we are slow, much slower than what I'm hoping that we will be. But I also will say that I think that there were a lot of things that contribute to the I don't know how many couple thousand miles that we came from Vancouver, to get here, get in late, and this is what you see, and then get them out there and play and come on out here. So I think that we're much needed rest, but I can honestly tell you that we're still not as quick as we need to be. We're still not as consistent as we need to be in the shooting. And it's an excuse that I hope we can remedy real soon, and that is that a number of those players, let me give you an example. Calhoun, she only practiced the day before we went to Vancouver. Since September, she's been sitting, on the sideline like she's taking physics notes because she had an ankle. I've never seen anything like it, but that's what it was. The Durantes, she was missing about 5 weeks because she had a concussion. She was doing good, and then she had a concussion. Zipporah, Broughton, so we've been working with one point guard. And Zippy is a point guard that's been training as a point guard. But I don't even know how the injury happened to her, but she's been out for 3 weeks too. And then she showed up. She showed up at the Canada game. I was surprised. She said, "Well, I'm going to play today." I thought, well, isn't that great? So we were glad to have that. But so I just don't think that we've been playing together long enough, and it's hurting us. And in some instances, I would take somebody out because they didn't know where they needed to go. It wasn't necessarily their fault as much as it was that when you played longer, you know what you're doing and where you're supposed to be going, then that would have to kick in. But we didn't, and it showed up. And this is not the kind of team that you can afford to do that with. And for sure, in the second half, the team just exploited. We were able to stay there on adrenaline, because honestly, I was very concerned about playing man-to-man defense, especially to stretch us out as far as they were. And so we were playing, if you will, it's like a half man, half zone, what we call a perfect defense. So we were basically matching up and switching, for lack of a better word. But the difference is that then, the Virginia Tech was doing so well that we needed to go right into a man-to-man defense. And then and show and go over those screens because the girls, had that kind of range. So we just had to take our chances, and that's what we did. But I just think that their offense was outstanding. And I thought that we were able to hang in there, really hang in there. Halftime, we were lucky. Second half, not so lucky, and it showed up the way that I would think that it would.
So you just flew back from Vancouver on Monday then, and then flew here
When did we
yesterday?
get in here Monday? Sunday night?
And then flew down here yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, what's today?
Wednesday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You haven't been here since the Big East days, when both schools were in the Big East there.
No, I know, with Bonnie. I was telling someone that my son wanted to come here to school, so yeah, I visited, before I think a lot of Virginia Tech. You're exactly right. But I mean, I think they're doing well in everything, with what Bonnie did when she was here with the Big East, and certainly with what Coach is doing.
Yeah, I think you've beaten Tech every time up there, but the Tech's beaten you every time in Blacksburg, so it's one of those.
Yeah, but you know what? To tell you the truth, I thought that this was worse. You know what I mean? You lose, but I just thought that there was some resolve that the players demonstrated. There was no crack in the armor. None of them broke. For example, we were saying that on those screens we were going to show high on the screen. Well, then how do you get in a goddamn game and we're supposed to show high on the screen, and then we got people standing there like, I didn't know. Like, really? And so long story short is, I thought that they were mentally tough. And that's what a lot of that. Have the skills, be mentally tough, and believe that you were able to do the things you needed to do. I think that I don't know if you're aware of this. There's a stat sheet that I'm extremely impressed with. This sheet will tell you the pluses and minuses of every player, and it will evaluate every aspect of that game. So it goes from the rebounds, shots, free throws, everything. So it'll tell you at the end of the day, here's what it'll do. It'll say, shooting up here. It'll tell you on the column. It'll say a plus or a minus, whether you get a plus for the game or a minus for the game. And it's kind of interesting because a number of years ago, I and my good friend Coach Taney decided that there are certain aspects of the game that writers and no one else is able to evaluate. And it's a shame because we should be able to credit, for a block, or credit for a take charge, or credit for a deflection, or credit for offense, rebounds. Like a lot of times the rebounder breaking a neck, but you never see any of that, right? So obviously someone has figured out how to assess every aspect of the game, and then it's that are being played and what you're doing. And so let me just say it like this: with them, every person on their team had a plus. So whether it was a plus 18, a plus 20, a plus 10, a plus 5, a plus 13. So every person contributed to the winning aspect of the game. You see what I'm saying? Okay. On our team, there wasn't one person that had a plus. You see what I'm saying? So that will tell you the story right there. Not one. And in fact, the saving grace, the only positive thing on this was one player, Giles, and she had a 0. So it wasn't, you think about that. Everybody else is like minus 10, minus 5, minus 13, minus 11, all of those things. And what's good about it is that I'm happy that there is this kind of stat. And you guys might, I don't know if you've seen this before, but you might look at that and say, okay, I'd like the way so-and-so played and what they did. And then close your eyes and then try to figure out what the stat sheet, is that what was really going on? Or did they really contribute in a way that you think they did? And I think that there are a lot of reasons for it. Like I said, I think that we're tired. We are, all of us are, really tired. And I wish that we could not have had to play this. And I'd like to believe that that's part of it. But also, we've just got to get some rest, get in shape, and learn the plays, and get busy and come at it again. Because I think that I know that we're better than what we're looking like, and right now, it's not looking good. We can play a half, but we haven't been able to sustain. And that same thing happened when we played down in Vancouver. We had Drake. We were up on Drake too, and the second half,